Some Christians either try to send the children away or they are not considered important to the kingdom of God yet. But you know what? It's important to hear what children have to say. They hear things that we, as adults, we no longer hear. They have priorities that we once had, and somehow we've already lost it, what our priorities are. Children have secrets that are not available to grown-ups. They can solve a Rubik's Cube. And you know what? When something goes wrong with my computer, guess who I call? It's my grandchildren. I call them because they can fix it. Did you know back in the day, it might even been in some of you guys at the time, that a teacher would listen to children. When a teacher would walk into the classroom, now I'm speaking of male teachers, he would remove their hat and bow to the class. He would bow to the students. Because, as they considered it, and they explained it, they are the future in our midst. Something to think about. They are the future in our midst. The custom in most churches is to keep the adults up here in the sanctuary, and we send the kids out. And for many children, they think of church as a place where adults keep telling them to be quiet as they go out to Sunday school. Don't make any noise. Don't disturb nobody. Be quiet. I wonder what Jesus would have thought about that. More than likely, Jesus probably would have been right behind the children to go down to see what's going on in Sunday school, and rather than to stay up here with the adults, with those that know better, that were taught all our lives to sit down, shut up. Never worked in my house, but we heard it a lot. We don't listen to children much. We ignore them in stores, and it seems like we always want to serve the adults first. Now in my house, it's just the opposite. When we have big dinners, the children get fed first. Children are fed first. And then me. And the rest of the family. Usually in that order. Usually once the kids have all done, it's a fight for survival at the table. What it amounts to. You know, we ask children what they want to be when they grow up. We always ask them this. What do you want to be when you grow up? As though their present state means nothing. It's just, where they are now, it's insignificant. So what do you want to be when you get older? I still haven't found out what I want to be yet when I grow up. But here I am in my present state. Why don't we talk to them about that? And Jesus said, let the children come to me. In other words, worship is livelier and richer when the children are present. And that's true. I've said it many times. Where are the kids? Because it's livelier when the kids are here. Mostly because you don't know what's going to happen. You know, we don't have to downplay worship for the sake of children. You don't have to do that. Children worship alongside of adults is something that needs to happen. And adults, we really have a lot to learn from children. We do. We have a lot to learn from children. Children are important to our church and our community. And they're probably the most important part of our church because they are our future. They are the future. Now, children do need to learn reverence before the presence of God. And they will learn it. They learn it from you. They learn lessons from you that they remember the rest of their life. How many of you can remember Sunday school lessons from way back? I can. I can remember those from way back. The things that stay with you the rest of your life. It just seems like We put them in a back closet back here, but every once in a while they'll rear their ugly head up and remind you of things. And that happens. They'll learn lessons, and they'll remember the rest of their lives. And Christian education should not be just for children only. We adults have much to learn from our children. And just maybe wake up the child that is still in each and every one of us. Children teach us many lessons, even when their interpretation and understanding is not always the way we consider correct. But is their interpretation of us their problem, or is it our problem? Sunday school teacher had asked her students one time to write a letter to God and bring the letter back the following Sunday. And one little boy wrote, "Dear God, we had a good time in church today. Just wish you could have been here." And a little girl becomes restless as the preacher's sermon seemed to drag on, and she finally leaned over and asked her mother, she says, "Mommy, if we give him the money now, will he let us go?" How many of you felt like that? I have. I'm not going to lie. I felt like that. Even with me preaching.